Now, I don't know if you can hear it in the background, very subtly, the rolling of the D20s. That can only mean one thing, and that is it's a Mutants and Masterminds actual play, and today we've got our patrons from our Mutants and Masterminds Patreon, which you can find at patreon.com/mutants, A-N-D, Masterminds, and it is arguably the best Patreon voted on by myself, and so yeah, it's a lot of fun. We do actual plays like this one. We also provide stat blocks, maps, all kinds of good stuff. And one of the good things about Patreon is you get to hang out with today's GM and this cool crew of people. Well, look, here they are now.
Ta-da!
Howdy do. Hi, Steve. Hi, friends.
Hey, Troy. Good to see you. Well,
you as well.
Not really see you, but hear
right.
you.
Just smell me. I'm going to turn off my mic and cork it up while you folks do introductions.
All right. Great. I'm Steve Kenson. I am the designer of Mutants and Masterminds. I am a staff designer with Green Running Publishing. And that's pretty much what qualifies me to do this, I guess. I will preface my introduction with a bit of an apology. I have been sick this past week, and so to sort of misquote Doc Brown, I apologize for the crudity of this model. I did not have time to build it to scale or paint it, and that's why we're not doing a lot of our really great Roll20 resources, because if I had had more time when I was cogent and not on cold medicine, I would have had Alex, set up some stuff on Roll20 and all of that. But instead, we are going theater of the mind, old school, for tonight's adventure. And folks will simply have to exercise their considerable imaginations in the visuals of our exciting adventure. So I'm going to do our introductions a little bit differently, in that I am going to ask folks in turn to introduce yourself, and then I'm going to introduce your character a bit so that I can fill you in on some of the details that are not contained in the stats of your character sheets, for both your reference and so everybody else is aware. Does that sound good? All right. So starting in order of chronology, let's start with Beto.
Well, I am Beto, Beto Lyle. Are we saying more than that, or you're gonna tell about characters? Yeah.
How long have you been on the Patreon, Beto?
How long have I been on the Patreon? It's a good question. What, I guess 2 years now, and it really is the best. They're not paying me to say that. It's really spectacular. So I really enjoyed it. I'm coming to you from Louisville, Kentucky.
Awesome. And Beto's character tonight is the Raven from an alternate Wild West. Cal Wiseraven is the son of the original Raven, Duncan Summers, from that reality, who was a half Apache warrior who adopted the Raven identity in order to fight injustice. He later fell in love with and married the daughter of Dr. Sin, a notorious crime lord from Chinatown on the West Coast. And Cal is their son, who has taken up his father's six-shooters and his identity to act as a new crime fighter in an alternate sort of steampunkish Wild West. So then we have Michael.
While I struggle to unmute myself. My name's Michael Tree. I'm actually a new subscriber to the Patreon.
Oh, welcome.
I've been playing M&M since first edition. I'm coming to you from Toronto, Canada, and I'll be playing the Duncan Summers of the 1930s.
Indeed. Michael's character is an alternate version of the original Raven, Duncan Summers, who hails from a sort of pulpish film noir 1930s, where he is a sort of masked trench coat wearing superhero who is a mysterious dark avenger of the night. And then moving closer to the present day, I think that would next be Alex.
Hi everybody, I'm Alex, and you might know me from M&M Monday. I'm the assistant developer for Mutants and Masterminds alongside Steve and Crystal, as well as the author of the Titan City Chronicles and the executive producer of the Untold Stories Project streaming network. And I'm playing Raven too.
Indeed. Alex's character is the second Raven in Earth Prime's continuity. Callie Summers is the daughter of Duncan Summers, the original Raven, and Jasmine Sin, the daughter of Dr. Sin. And Alex is playing a version of Callie from an alternate reality where she is still the Raven, and a much younger version of the character than exists in Earth Prime's continuity, where Callie Summers has since retired as the Raven and is now mayor of Freedom City.
So I'm not from the 80s like I thought it was going to be.
Nope.
That's
You're
a good choice.
a contemporary alternate version. And speaking of the present-day Raven and Callie's successor, we have Sean.
Hi, Sean Dugan, long-time caller, long-time listener. I've been part of the Patreon for, I guess, since you started up that Patreon. I've been doing Mutants and Masterminds since sometime in 2006. We started with first edition. I found the Atomic Think Tank and second edition, and have continued on. And currently broadcasting from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Wonderful. Welcome, Sean. Sean is playing the present-day Raven in Earth Prime's continuity. The character currently known as the Raven started out as a member of a universe-traveling group called the Alternatines that first appeared in our Hero High source book. The character was originally named Elite, and he was a escapee from an order known as the Murder League, a group of interdimensional assassins who trained and brainwashed elite assassins. But Elite broke free of his conditioning and fled into the multiverse with some of his new friends, and eventually attending the Claremont Academy was able to earn the trust of both the original Raven and his successor. And with his skills and his dedication to doing right for all of the badness that had been trained into him, he was chosen by Callie as her successor as the Raven when she decided to retire from the role to go into politics. And last but certainly not least, we have Josh.
Good afternoon. My name is Josh. I'm playing out of Portland, Oregon. I've been on your Patreon since you started. I first noticed it. I've been a big fan of Jack Conti, the guy who started Patreon. And then I saw you pop up, so I logged into your system too. I'm a bit of a fanboy. I first noticed Steve's name popping up in all the books in 2000, from Silver Age Sentinels to Shadowrun to Mutants and Masterminds. And I picked up all of them, and I've been a fan ever since.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And Josh is playing the Raven, which stands for Remote Android Vessel Engrammatic, a android that was designed and built by an alternate version of Duncan Summers in a different near future reality, wherein the android Raven served as his successor when there was no one else to take up the role, and Duncan retired from crime fighting to become the head of Aegis in that reality. So we have all of our various Ravens assembled. And tonight's adventure is called Nevermore. We'll have folks do their dice rolls analog. So as Troy mentioned, please call out the numbers of your roll or your total clearly, so that folks can hear them, particularly so that I can hear them. And if folks have any questions, obviously, just feel free to raise a hand or interrupt me if I'm going on at length, and we'll address them as we go. All right, so everyone is aware, you all start out with the traditional 1 hero point, and we'll see how many you accumulate as we go. Our adventure begins with an excerpt from the present Raven's journal. At least part of the work that we do is luck, or maybe it's destiny, if you believe in that sort of thing. There have been some minor odd glitches happening in Nevermore the past few days. Communications issues, computer problems. I suppose that it's possible that this note that I found in the computer system is one of them. But when a mysterious note appears out of nowhere and points to a possible trouble at a cutting-edge research lab in Freedom City, in my experience, it pays to follow up on that kind of lead. So I left a message with my old friend Navigatrix to check in about the dimensional anomalies, and I find myself back in Freedom for the first time in quite a while, wondering just what it is I'll find when I get to the Maze Runner facility in downtown. A company interested in quantum computing research might not be involved with whatever is going on at Nevermore, but I have a feeling that it's all connected somehow. Raven 3, you have a headquarters, appropriately called Nevermore, in New York City, where you normally operate. Thanks to the abilities of your dimensional traveling ally, the android Navigatrix, Nevermore exists in a kind of pocket dimension that effectively allows you to hide a small complex inside basically what outside looks like a walk-in closet in your penthouse. Recently, there have been a few minor technical issues, which is unusual, as Nevermore usually runs quite smoothly and is pretty self-sustaining, being a very advanced technological installation. You've taken note of them, and as I mentioned, you've checked in with Navigatrix to see if there might be some dimensional issue that's causing them. But the weird one was a message that was posted on Nevermore's computer system that simply had the name and address of this business, Maze Runners, which is an advanced computer research firm in Freedom City, and this date and time. you've come to Freedom City to check it out because you don't know where the information came from, but it certainly seems like something worth investigating.
Okay. Do you mind if I make use of my connected advantage to try to figure out what I can learn about that?
Absolutely.
And is that investigation roll or?
Yeah, investigation is fine.
Okay. I rolled a 13, which with my
Okay.
+8 bonus would put me at 21.
Checking in with a number of people you know, you find that Maze Runner is basically a tech startup. They've been around for a couple of years now. They are primarily interested in developing quantum computing resources, very advanced forms of computer information access and retrieval that would be really a, no pun intended, quantum leap in terms of the capabilities of computers if they were no longer confined to the simple linear limits of circuitry. It could completely reshape the way computers exist in the world.
So I suppose might lead to the question of, is this something that Daedalus has tried to suppress as potentially dangerous technology before?
You've checked in and you're aware that Daedalus has been concerned about primarily the potential of AI in a number of regards, given his own experiences with artificial intelligence. At least so far as you know, it doesn't appear that Maze Runner is on Daedalus's radar as anything of concern as yet. They're pretty much strictly research at the moment. And they haven't, as far as any information you've dug up yet, come up with anything that is like a working prototype. They're simply investigating a number of promising theories.
Interesting. I guess my default approach on this then would be to try to approach them discreetly, possibly under the cover of being a wealthy investor interested in their technology. See what I can find out.
Okay. You arrange. You have no difficulty arranging an appointment at the company and visiting their offices during the daytime. You end up speaking with one of the partners at Maze Runner, a man named David Edmonds. He's a young tech type, for the most part, sort of business casual and very enthusiastic about their particular work, which he's happy to go on at great length about. He's happy to give you a pretty polished pitch about what Maze Runner is working on, what quantum computing essentially is, and what they see as its potential and the like. It's clearly stuff that's designed to impress potential investors and the like. And you get a sense, you're pretty good at reading people, that he's sincere so far as that goes. The offices of the company are on the 40th floor of a skyscraper in downtown Freedom City, big, tall glass tower. And the offices are very modern and clean, not overly huge. There's basically a few small offices, a conference room, and a small sort of cube farm area. although it's a bit more open concept in its design, where programmers are working. Um, and otherwise, there's fairly little of note.
In which case, I will continuing trying to discreetly find out what I can. I'm also going to try to lay the groundworks to be able to visit later that night. I suspect they probably don't have any windows I can prop open, but the equivalent for trying to set things up to break in later.
It doesn't look like the exterior windows open, but you do take careful note of their security systems, and you put some things in place to ensure they'll have an easier time getting back in later on. The time on the note that you received is about 11 p.m. tonight.
Convenient. In which case I should be able to get back later then. Yeah, to be honest, that's all that I can think of in actions in terms of before I get there later that night.
All right. So later on that night, what is your stealth bonus?
Do you want to roll for it, or just do I take
Nope,
10?
just yeah, you can just take 10.
Oh, okay.
What does that give you?
Oh, that'll give me a total of 20.
Okay, yeah. With the having sort of cased the place and with your preparations and the like, you have no problem getting back in that night. And the offices are dark, closed up for the night. There's only the lights from the city skyline outside coming through the slotted blinds that cover parts of the windows, and the small emergency lights in various corners of the dark office, providing any light inside.
All right. I'm going to proceed on, doing my best to try to spot likely locations for cameras and trying to maintain a discreet presence. It's half tempted to just show up in plain clothes and try to pretend to be a programmer coming in late at night. Speaking of which, is the place deserted, or is there anybody burning the midnight oil?
There doesn't appear to be anyone around, but as you are moving into the office and trying to get a better look around, there is a flash of light that comes from one of the offices ahead. You only see it under the closed door. There's a sort of flicker of a fairly bright light that shines out into the hall.
I'll go in to investigate that.
All right. You are moving towards it when suddenly an image materializes right in front of you. A shimmering, translucent form that is your old friend Navigatrix. She's a feminine-bodied android from, you're not even sure what original universe Navigatrix hails from. She and her fellow navigators were created by some ancient civilization long ago to explore the various pathways of the multiverse. navigatrix looks very both mechanical, but also very humanoid. And you would say that her face holds an expression of grave concern. Her image flickers, and it's clear she's not physically present, at least not completely. And it's almost as though her image strobes and splits into multiple layers of color that slide across one another in front of your vision. As though from far away, her voice calls out to you, Elliot, there is grave danger to the Omniverse. I am trying to reach you. I'm not sure if this signal will make it through. Deep within the maze, find me. And there's a flash of light that's blindingly bright. You throw your arm up to shield your eyes from it. And the loud sound of a doorway nearby bursting open. You hear a voice say, "Who are they? Get them!" And two things become immediately apparent. First, there is a large group of black-clad ninja warriors pouring out of the open office door as a figure in green and gold and red holding a curved sword points in your direction and is ordering them to rush you. And second, you glance from side to side near you, and there are 4 other people standing by, well, 3 other people and an android standing near you. Fellow Ravens, you two are in the midst of investigating some odd happenings, anomalies of sorts, when you chanced to see a strange ghostly figure that looked sort of like a feminine robot. There was a bright flash of light, and suddenly you found yourself standing here being attacked by ninjas. So everybody can roll for initiative.
I got a 17 with what is it, +2 for 19.
Hold on to those values for just a moment. All right. So,
I've got a 3 + 9 for 12.
All right, so 12 for Raven 3. And Raven 2.
Raven 2 has a 22, an 8 with a +4 modifier.
And Raven Noir.
A 13.
And our Wild West Raven.
11.
I'll have to open that. There are 1,000 stories in the Freedom City. This is just one.
Indeed. And Josh, what does Raven Agent have you just got for us?
I rolled a 17 +2, 19.
All right, so 19. Okay. Well, as you were all a bit understandably flummoxed, the ninjas go first. And swords drawn, they rush at you with a loud cry of attack. All right. Expensive values. All right. So, Beto, I have Cal's pari as 10. So you are struck by one blow by one of the ninja blades. Can you give me a toughness resistance check, please?
I sure can. That is a 12.
Okay. That is going to be, you are going to be dazed, and you take a hit for a -1 penalty on your toughness checks.
Yes, sir.
And Josh, if you can give me 2 toughness checks for Raven the android.
First one is 19,
Yep.
and second one is 9.
Ooh, oh, that's pretty. Can you even roll a 9 on your?
Let's see.
What's the modifier?
Oh, you rolled a 19 and a 9.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not including your toughness bonus.
Oh, no.
I was like, your toughness is higher than 9.
Yes. Let's see.
You're the tough one.
12. So that's 21 and what is it? 31?
Yeah. So unsurprisingly, there's a couple of metallic cling, cling, as a couple of blows simply glance off of your polycarbonate armor and don't affect you at all.
Okay.
The rest of you dodge and block the incoming attacks, but it's a pretty close melee in the midst of the sort of open office area of the place, with at least 2 of these ninjas attacking each of you. And if anybody has well-informed, I'm trying to remember if
I do.
anyone does, and would
Raven
like
2 does
to
as well.
make an investigate check.
Sure.
Can I use my skill mastery to make it routine and get a 20, Steve?
Yep, absolutely can.
And I got a 7.
I get a what? I'm sorry?
A 17.
Okay. So the 2 of you aren't honestly entirely sure what's going on, but the guy who is holding back in the office, who has just ordered the ninjas to attack you all, looks like someone you know. He's called, well, in your case, Ravenor, he's called the Son of Sin. But Alex, you know him as the Hand of Sin. He's at least the one you know, is a lab-grown clone of Dr. Sin, who serves as sort of his personal bodyguard and lieutenant. All right. And speaking of which, Alex, it is Raven 2's turn.
Cool. Raven 2 would like to grapple over to the Hand of Sin and try to take that sword away from him.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? I don't have improved disarm, so I'm just going to punch him in the face.
Fair enough.
So with my martial arts, it's a well, with my martial arts, I get a 18 plus 15 is a 33 to hit.
Nice. That is a solid hit. What's the damage value?
It's DC 20 toughness save.
Okay. You slip past the hand's defenses. He attempts to block you with his sword blade. With one hand, you sweep his arm out of the way and hit him with a powerful uppercut that sends him staggering back into the office behind and up against the corner of the desk. He nearly falls, but rights himself. One hand sort of reflexively going to massage his jaw.
What's the matter, y'all thumbs today?
You pack a powerful punch, traitorous, but we'll see if it will sustain you. And Raven, the android, it is your action.
Which of the ravens look least protected?
Well, they're all clearly humans as far as that goes. It appears that from what you can tell, Noir and Wild West Raven are probably wearing the least armor so far as that goes.
Mm-hmm. If I can, my intention is to move to the closest raven to back them up in case I need to use my interpose. Mm-hmm. But otherwise, I'll be using my attack by taking a very imposing pose and yelling out, "Fear the Raven," and then using my Conary Affliction.
Okay. So it looks like it's a DC 20 Fortitude save. And a sort of invisible, sort of shimmering cone of sound emits from the raven. One of the ninjas just sort of crumples and drops to the floor, the sword clattering from his hand. The other dodges out of the way at the last minute, doing a flip onto the top of a nearby desk table, weapon at the ready, looking pretty wary.
Cool.
And the hand of Sin rallies and flings a handful of shuriken at Raven 2.
Good move.
And a 29 against your dodge.
Yeah, that'll hit.
All right. It is a multi-attack, so...
He hit me by 7, if it matters.
It does. So give me a toughness resistance check, DC 18.
I get a 23 total.
All right. You manage to roll and evade such that the flying shuriken simply cut small cuts in the fabric of your gloves and cloak, but you evade any harm as the rest of them just sort of embed themselves in a line along the wall.
So tell me, Hansy, what part of the hand is the ninja star? Is it like your fingernail clippings?
he seems to ignore your taunt and is maneuvering carefully. And Raven Noir, your action is next.
All right. Just like a ninja to bring a katana to a gunfight. I pull my gun and then leap into a pile of ninjas and start punching them.
All right. Give me an attack check.
All right.
Can I nominate him for a hero point? Because that's so Dick Tracy.
Right? Absolutely. Take a hero point for that.
All right.
Now, as minions, can he take 10 on that?
As a matter
Or
of
are they
fact,
minions?
he
Oh.
can.
I can. Well, I'll take 10 then.
All right. What is your
So that is a 20.
attack? Okay.
But I do have takedown.
Yep. Okay. So you wade into the group of attacking ninjas. What is your unarmed damage?
My unarmed damage is DC 20.
Okay.
So damage 5.
And you, the rest of you watch as the trench coat clad masked man just dives into this group of attackers, and there's a melee where 3 different ninjas go flying or hit the floor before one of them blocks with his sword as Raven Noir sort of tries to pistol whip him, but that guy manages to stand his ground. Apparently, this guy can fight. Raven 3, it is your action.
All right. I'll call. I'm trying to think of a good way to call out a quick to Callie without identifying her. But basically, call out something, asking if she's gotten bored with her day job already. And he's going to use a combination of his grapple and running across the shoulders of the ninja to attempt his own disarm against the hand of the sword, using his batons. He does have improved disarm. So
Okay.
let's hope I actually roll decently.
I don't know what you're talking about, other Raven. This is my day job.
So I rolled an 8, so that'll be a total of a 23 to hit with,
All right.
I think that's a, do I roll for the disarm amount, or is it just a strict amount?
I believe that we're going to need a test for the disarm.
Yeah, I think it's the hand strength opposed by the damage of the disarming effect.
All right. So that'll be 11 plus 5 for me for a total of 16.
Okay. Just double check. Yep. All right. So give me a check with your damage value, Sean.
I rolled an 11 plus 5 for 16.
Okay. Leaping into the fray, you catch the hand's sword between your fighting batons, and with a twist, rip it from his grip and send the sword flying so that the end of it embeds itself in the drywall of the office.
Is it possible to use my quick draw to basically sheath my batons and catch the sword myself?
Sure.
In which case, I'll do that, catch it with a flourish, raise it in on-guard position against him. Nothing quite like not conflicting, attacking somebody with their own weapon.
Yep.
The hand of sin drops into a martial arts stance, his hands at the ready. You will find that I am all of the weapon that I require. And Cal Wiseraven, it is your turn.
Yeah, so since I took that hit, so I'm going to take some of the blood. I don't know if I'm cut on the arm or something, right? And sort of take that and touch it to my tongue. And I say, first blood, but not the last. And I'm going to quick draw my revolvers. And since I can split that damage, I think I can. And you said that there were two attacking me. I think I can shoot at both of them.
Correct.
Right. I'll take that as a routine check. So that's going to be I just had it, a 26 as my attack.
Okay, that'll hit.
And then they'd be saving against DC 17. I'd split the effect 2 for each, so 17.
All right. You drop one of the ninjas. The other dodges at the last second, and the shot is merely a glancing blow. But good shooting. All right. And speaking of the ninjas, the remaining ones get to go. The 5 remaining ninjas out in the office area that are fighting you, almost as one, drop smoke bombs to the floor, and a thick, dark cloud of smoke spreads out rapidly, filling the whole space of the room.
Oddly enough, I was originally planning to do the same thing myself.
I was also thinking about dropping ninja smoke bombs this round.
All right. And Raven Noir will need a toughness check from you. Sorry, I didn't get that, Michael.
That would be a 15.
All right. A 15 means that you do take a hit. So a -1 penalty on your toughness saves, just a glancing strike. But it is proving a little harder to avoid these guys when you can't see them.
So they swing and almost cut my tie hat. Almost cut my tie in half.
Right.
My favorite tie.
Alex, it is Callie's action.
Cool. Steve, I would like to spend a hero point, please.
Okay.
Can I spend a hero point to get the setup advantage?
Yep, absolutely.
I would like to... We're in a startup office, you said, right?
Yep.
I would like to extend my grappling gun, shoot over into the collection of free snacks that they provide for the employees in lieu of, income that pays for their daily existence.
Right.
I would like to yank that over here and use it to try and feint the Hand of Sin and set him up for Raven 3 to punch him in the face next round.
Okay, sounds good.
So I'll make a deception check. Oh no, I rolled a 9. I rolled a 1. I got a 9 total.
Oh, okay. Well, that's probably not going to work, but well, what do you know? All right. Unfortunately, the Hand of Sin rolled a 7 on his insight check. So
we're both a little multiversally disoriented.
It would seem so.
So I pierce the bag of cheese puffs, bring them over here, and I just cover him in cheese doodles and back away for Raven 3 to knock him out.
All right. And Android Raven, it is your action.
Does the smoke obscure my ultravision?
It does not.
Oh, okay. In that case, I'll move to the closest ninja and try to take him out.
All right.
I'll be punching.
Okay. Give me a attack check.
And I rolled a 10. Let's see, where's my unarmed 12? So 22.
That's a hit, all right. What's your damage DC?
Damage DC is 23.
Okay. You step into the smoke and wind up, punch. One of the ninjas goes down onto the floor with a thud.
Okay.
All right. And Hand of Sin. Distracted by Callie's effrontery.
Oh no, I got Cheeto dust all over my hand.
Flings another handful of shuriken in your directions. So a 28 against your respective dodge totals, Ravens 2 and 3.
You said a 22?
28.
28. Oh, yeah, that'll hit. That's 6 above my dodge DC.
Okay. Sean, what is that against Ravens dodge DC?
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize that he was also aiming at that. What was the roll?
It's a 28.
Oh, okay. That is 4 above mine.
Okay. So I will need a DC 17 check from Alex, and a DC 16 toughness check from Sean, please.
All right. I got a total of 7 plus 6 for 13, which will be 1 degree of failure.
Yep. 1 hit, -1 penalty.
I got an 11, which will be a difference of 6 for 2 degrees of damage.
So that's a hit, and you are also dazed.
That's fair.
As he flings out a wide arc of throwing stars that slash past you. But Raven 3, you can still see that the other Raven has thrown the Hand of Sin off balance with her attack and left him open.
Mildly related to that, is the smoke cloud not extending out to us?
It's sort of filtering into the room from behind you, but it doesn't affect your conditions in here at the moment.
Okay, thank you.
So Raven Noir.
All right. So I pick up one of these funny-looking phones on the desks around us, intending to grab it and grapple the ninja with the cord. But this phone doesn't have a cord, so I just hit him with it.
Right. In fact, you just pick up his handle, and it's like, it's not attached to anything.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So you just give me give me an attack check.
That's a 1.
All right, and you miss.
Yes.
It's also really light.
Yeah.
It's throwing you off. All right, Sean, Raven 3's action.
All right. I'm going to do a dazzling display of swordsmanship, slashing at various directions before attempting to distract him with a high slash before going in to hit him with the pommel, since I particularly want to be lethal. I want to avoid going back to that part of my background.
Mm-hmm.
Which, with the sword not being part of my skill, that actually takes me down to a plus 12 on my attack, I believe.
Okay.
But I rolled a 17, so total of 29.
That's a solid hit.
All right,
Yeah.
which I think should be a DC of 20, assuming that is a damage 3 sword.
All right. And It's actually a damage 6 weapon.
Oh,
So,
goodness.
So it'll actually be a DC of 23. And you slip in through the hand's defenses and with a distracting swipe of the blade, bring the pommel up and upper sort of backhanded strike. It connects with the Hand of Sin's jaw with a loud crack and sends him sprawling to the floor from the force of the blow.
And I will turn to Callie and spread my arms wide and say, before you say anything, I know you set that up, so that's your kill. I'm not going to make the mistake I did of last time.
Do I know
Totally
you?
take care of yourself. You don't recognize me? Okay, well, that explains all the other weird-looking people.
Yeah, I feel like we're probably in the middle of something weird, would be my guess.
Yeah.
Do you want to go out and beat up the fingers and collect the other ravens?
It's a good thing I didn't suggest attack pattern Alpha 17.
We don't have that where I'm from.
Wild West Raven, your action.
Okay, so because of the effect of the smoke bombs, do I see my? There was that one attacker that was still up. Do I see that attacker at all, or am I totally blind to him?
Nope. You can't hardly see your hand in front of your face at the moment.
Okay. So I'm going to, right. So the action with the Hand of Sin was beyond the ninjas, right? Farther, away in the office. Well, I don't know, not that far. As you said, it's a fairly small space. But what I'm thinking I was going to do is maybe use my my steam powered ascending line to sort of go up to the ceiling and crawl over, or past where I know the ninjas were, and try to come down on maybe on the other side of that cloud where my unlikely allies were fighting the Hand of Sin.
Sure, you can do that. Fortunately, they go in for pretty high ceilings in here, and you're able to use your ascension line to hoist you up out and over the smoke cloud and deposit you just outside of the office where where you get a great view as one of the other dark-clad figures fighting with you lays that guy out with his own sword.
By the way, because I'm dazed, that's my only action that I'm able to take.
Afraid so.
Yep.
All right. The remaining ninjas. There's a couple of thunks and thuds from within the dark cloud of smoke, and as it clears, there's another figure standing over the unconscious forms of the remaining ninjas, still holding one of them by the front of his tunic before she just sort of lets him drop to the floor with the rest of them. She's clad quite similarly in a number of regards, in that she's wearing almost all form-fitting black, and has a mask that covers the lower part of her face. Her hair is black and cut very short, and her eyes are hard and dark. She has a sword sheathed across her back, and a close-fitting utility belt around her waist. And Raven 3, Sean, as soon as you emerge from the office and see this woman standing over the other ninjas, you immediately recognize that she is a member of the Murder League.
Oh, expletive. Are we still in initiative order, or?
No, there's nobody left unless you want to attack her. She is not moving to attack you at the moment.
Has the smoke cleared?
Yes,
we can
it
see.
has.
I will address her, asking if she is here on a contract, and if you don't mind, I'll go ahead and use my deception to try to do it discreetly. So using the camera, not innuendo, whatever they call it currently in the system. Got a total of 15 to discreetly ask her if she's here on a contract.
You ask her, and she shakes her head slightly and says, "Not one that concerns you, at least not immediately. You did well. I almost didn't need to come at all."
Is this an official visit from the League?
I'm here on their business. Well,
and if this business concerns people in the city, then it might be part of my business.
This business concerns people everywhere. You're a bit more than I was expecting.
Well, I have continued to learn since the time when I left service.
I'm not talking about your metal trader. I'm talking about your numbers. Where did they come from?
Hell if I know.
Chicago. Where and when are you all from?
Ah, I see that we're going to have to catch you up. All right, then. Pay close attention. I don't have time to say this twice. There is an omniverse of multiple worlds. Worlds that exist in parallel to one another, with similar but divergent histories.
And of all the omniverses, you had to walk into mine.
Each of you is
I think technically we
clearly
walked into hers.
from a different parallel to this particular Earth. He was the only one, she says, pointing to Raven 3, the only one I was expecting to run into here. Still, you may be potentially useful.
So this is your home? Turn to Raven 3?
No.
Oh,
I'm from an Earth
entirely.
that none of you have encountered, and you should probably hope that you never do. I represent a higher order that has a deeper understanding of the fabric of reality and how it must be very carefully trimmed and maintained. Certain threads have to be cut and woven to ensure that the pattern remains whole and stable.
Yes, the problem is you always seem to be the one deciding who exactly needs to be cut. I don't know if I trust your tailor.
Do you know this
Fate
lady? She's
decides.
got big supervillain energy.
she sure does.
We can debate the mission of the League another time. You have other concerns.
And is this one yours? And I point over at the hand.
No. He belongs to our problem. On most of your worlds, some version of the man who is known as Zin Singh or Dr. Sin is known. He may be known by other names, but his criminal empire and his extended life are well known in many realities. Dr. Sin has decided that he is concerned with the matters of his legacy. I don't know if he is simply tired of life or if old age and nostalgia have caught up with him. But it appears that he has found the betrayal and death of his only daughter and the inadequacy of substitutes such as that to be a disappointment. He has sought a solution.
The sonotune. Don't know.
Yes, if you can call it that. A clone, and not a particularly good one, if you ask me.
Yeah, Grandpa's sensitive like that.
Grandpa?
He's my grandpa. It's a thing.
All right.
Dr. Sin has decided to search for a solution out in the Omniverse. After all, if all possibilities are contained there, then surely he can find the reality where his perfect daughter still awaits him, or at the very least, he can pull together the necessary threads to make whatever it is he wants. There is a faction within the League that believes that it is inefficient for us to conduct our work as we do, and that it would be more effective instead to simply remake things at a greater pace. This faction has allied themselves with Dr. Sin. They are working on a means to draw threads from different realities within the Omniverse together into one place where almost anything could be possible.
Were you the one who sent the message to meet here?
I was wondering if you would show it all.
Wow, that has answered one question.
That faction of yours sounds a lot like that German fellow with the funny mustache overseas. Can't say I'm in favor of that.
General Wilhelm?
Their notions of cleansing beggar your imagination.
I must question, does not tampering with the planes thus put all planes in dire position of being destroyed?
You are correct. The tampering that Dr. Sin and his allies intend to carry out could have grave consequences. Entire realities could be wiped out. Our work is precise, surgical. This is mere butchery for the sake of one man's hopes and dreams. This faction cannot be allowed to carry out their plans.
Sounds like a genuine time of crisis.
So, as you say, I am on a commission for the League. But my targets are not you. Instead, I thought that your familiarity with Dr. Sin might prove helpful.
I'll glance over at Raven too and say, well, she may be a bit more familiar with him. I am not in any way related.
Indeed, I should have thought to seek out some of Callie Summers' alternates.
Hey, secret identities. Of course, with this group, I don't know if that's as much of a problem.
I have no concern with your petty personal lives.
Yeah, real big supervillain energy coming from you.
Believe me, the group they're from, it's... I hesitate to say it, but it sounds like we may have to ally with you to save the greater number of people.
The choice is yours, of course. If you are willing, then you can accompany me through the maze to reach Dr. Sin, and we can attempt to stop him.
Well, I'm in.
Well, I embody the thought and memory of my creator, and I will use my knowledge to defeat this Dr. Sin.
As much as I feel like I'm shaking hands with the devil, well, sometimes it is necessary.
You should appreciate the role that I currently hold. Your departure from the League did, after all, allow me to claim the title of elite for myself. Very well, then. Elite makes her way over to the open office door, and from a pocket in her utility belt, she withdraws a small, flat, about the size of a credit card, but metallic and sort of cut like a jigsaw. And she touches it against the lower corner of the door frame, drawing it up along the edge of the door frame across the top. And as she does so, a faint line of sort of cold, silvery light is left behind in its wake. The light crosses across the top of the door frame, down the other side, and then she, with one stroke, draws it across the threshold of the door, completing the rectangle. The light flares and spreads out inside the door frame into a sort of liquid mercury mirrored surface that fills up the frame. "Follow me," she says, and then turns and steps through the surface and disappears into it.
Well, I won't presume upon the rest of you, but... And he nods and then follows her through the door.
I don't know if I trust this broad, but as they say, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And Dr. Sin is my enemy. So I'll walk through.
All right, so who goes through first? All right. Raven, you step through the surface, and the liquid is sort of cool on your skin as you pass through it. There's a moment of disorientation, feeling almost weightless, and as though you're falling. And you hear, for a brief moment, the sound again of Navigatrix's voice calling to you as if from a great distance. "Find me, Elliot. Find me." And then, just as suddenly, you're standing on solid ground again. The others quickly emerge from the shimmering doorway behind you, you all step out into a dark corridor of some sort. It's could be ancient from the look of it. It's all dark stonework, both the walls on the floor and the ceiling overhead. The walls slope just slightly inward, so that the ceiling is a bit narrower than the floor. And the door that you emerged from seems sort of recessed into the part of the wall. Everything is made of very carefully fitted stone, and the air is dry with a slight sort of musty scent to it. A string. Oh, we lose Sean.
He said he needs to step off camera for just a second, but he's within earshot.
Cool. A strange sort of, excuse me, faintly greenish luminescence seems to illuminate the corridor that extends off in either direction for a way, and branches off in a couple of different points. Elite stands a short distance away, arms folded slightly impatiently. Once you have all emerged, the silvery doorway behind you flickers and disappears. And Elite nods and says, "Follow me. Do exactly as I tell you. This passage is known only to certain members of the League, and you would do well to tread it carefully." Sean, Elliot is acquainted with some of what Elite is talking about, at least by reputation. The Murder League supposedly has a place, a resource that is called the Murder Maze. And it's supposedly a mysterious labyrinth that they can use to travel anywhere. It's one of the resources that the League uses in their ability to operate across the Omniverse. You, in your time with the League, you did traverse the maze once or twice to go on missions, but you were always accompanied by a guide in those cases, and because you weren't inclined to disobey instructions anyway, never strayed off the path so far as that goes. But this does match your memories of what the maze is like.
It has been some time since I've been through this maze.
It's definitely raising some disturbing recollections.
Raven, do you know what sort of terrors lie in some place called the Murder Maze? Anything we should be keeping an eye out for?
I never encountered it. I never strayed from the path that the guide set. I look to Elite and say, you do of course realize that eventually we will find a way to get to you through this.
Well, that will be a challenge for another day.
I look forward to that day.
The maze has remained secure for countless generations of the League. I have little concern. But assuming that we all survive this, I look forward to the opportunity. stay close. Elite leads you down a twisting series of corridors with turning left and right at various intervals, such that you're very quickly unsure how far you've walked or in what direction exactly. The maze is truly living up to its name in that regard. Occasionally, there is a door inset into the wall along the corridor you pass. The doors usually appear to be made of some sort of dark wood that is banded in metal with heavy, dark hinges. And Elite seems to pay them no attention at all, simply leading you past the various ones that you encounter.
I am going to try to keep track of the twists and turns on the computer on my wrist guard, the listed feature on there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be doing the same thing.
But
I have tracking in distance and directional sense, so I'm trying to map this maze while we go on.
Yep. Both of your onboard systems for orientation and the like are working reasonably well, but you're obviously getting no external reference of any kind. Those of you who are able to access any kind of signals or communications, the maze is clearly a complete dead zone in that regard. There are 0 bars of any kind.
Cut off from the Raven computer.
So I'm not receiving a GPS or a magnetic signal to point us towards north.
No, neither.
Okay.
There's compasses essentially don't function as far as that goes. You can sense, orientation from things like an accelerometer and the like, but there's no magnetic north. There's no external signal.
Steve, I would like
that
to
I'm
step...
an android. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Raven. Sorry, I just wanted to say I wanted to step back in line with Raven the android.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm having difficulty with this. This does not seem to compute with my rational circuits.
Well, I think we might be in irrational space, big guy.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to try and keep track of where we're going the old-fashioned way, just memorizing the twists and turns and looking for scrapes on the floor and on the walls.
You keep a keen eye out for even the slightest differences. There's a monotonous sameness to a lot of the design of the maze. It's stonework and the doors themselves have a quality that keep you wondering, have you passed that one before? Are you walking in circles? You could definitely see that if you weren't following Elite, you're not entirely sure it would be even possible to find your way in this maze. A faint, the light from the corridor seems slightly brighter ahead, although it has been the same sort of greenish dimness for however long this has been. And Elite raises a hand to indicate for you to stop. She sighs almost unnoticeably and then turns towards you. The passage of mirrors lies ahead. We could double back and try and find another route, but it would take precious time. Fording through the passage of mirrors means confronting certain visions. I, of course, have the necessary training and will to withstand them.
We'll be fine.
I'm
I
fairly
hope
certain.
so. I would hate to
Not
have to
afraid of
leave
mirror.
any of you here, or ensure that you were mercifully killed off. Do try
Let's
not to
move
fall
forward.
into howling madness. And be careful of what you see.
Howling madness is my least favorite kind of madness.
I've been in enough fun houses in my day. I'm not worried.
So
Let's
are
move
you
forward.
Duncan Summers? I'm going to point at Raven Noir.
Yeah,
That's neat.
how's that?
You're my dad.
Summers too? I'm your dad.
Yeah, but my dad's a lot younger than you would be. You're from what, 1920s, 1930s?
1930, yeah. 33.
And Raven the android, are you based on Duncan Summers or are you based on somebody else?
I am the creation of my version of Raven.
Yeah,
His
Duncan Summers.
identity he never shared.
So you're also my dad, but you're a robot.
Yes. That
Neat.
sounds plausible.
So you're siblings, kind of.
Yeah.
You're both
Alex,
my
I'm
kids.
totally feeling like your version of Callie is from a universe where she got to be Robin somehow.
Yes. Well, I said earlier, I was like, I don't know when she became Raven Gwen, but that's where we're at.
Right? Giving me big Nightwing vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Although, just under general clarification, is she like looks in her 40s or 50s like the Raven would be in my time, or looks younger?
I'm in my 20s.
Okay.
So I guess Raven started later in my timeline than
Mm-hmm.
your timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I had Michael Keaton Raven, and now I'm here.
I'll simply say to Elite that I've had the training before, so I have confidence.
But you're not one of my kids too?
No, totally unrelated.
I'm kind of relieved. Nothing personal.
None taken.
I think he might be one of my kids. I got that vibe. Were we related, or is just like a
Protege.
did I adopt you? Oh, okay.
I am the Raven in my world after you retired.
I retired. What did I retire to do?
Boring things.
That doesn't sound like me.
And I will glance over at Elite and give a slight shake of my head.
Yeah, can you imagine if I did something dumb like politics or something? Ugh.
Yes, that would be absolutely terrible and a waste of your talents, as I have no doubt told people before. Now, I believe we have a hall of mirrors to go through.
Follow me. Elite continues down the corridor, and its design changes a short distance away. The stonework gives way to wide silvery panels of mirrors that are set into the walls and the ceiling. Heavy sort of verdigreed brass and copper frames edge the mirrors at regular intervals, separating the panels. But otherwise, the upper part of the corridor is just an unbroken, silvery, reflective surface that shows infinite reflections of the either side of the corridor, and yourselves just sort of stretching out into the vast distance, giving the impression that the corridor has sort of an endless infinity outside of it. Even after a short distance walking through the corridor, you begin to hear sounds coming from the depths within the mirrors, and it seems as though the images in the distance shift and move. And can each of you give me a will resistance check?
I rolled a 10 for a total of 14.
Okay.
I rolled an 11 with 5, so 16.
Okay.
I rolled an 8 with a plus 12 for a total of 20.
Okay.
I rolled a 5 for a total of 15.
Okay. So, Raven Noir and Raven 3, you're just shy of success on that check. And you just begin to feel a sort of just a sense of existential dread, as though something terrible was lurking on the other side of that glass, that was almost reaching out at you. You know, it's just a trick of the lighting and the movement and the like, but it's hard to shake the impression that there's just something unnatural there. As you continue down the corridor, the images in the mirror, you catch glances of things that maybe just the images, the random shapes are reminding you of things that seem to just trigger memories. You catch a sidelong glance in the mirror, image that reminds you of someone, or that brings the recollection of a past experience to mind, or the like. And some of them are pleasant, some of them are kind of disturbing, and things that you'd rather not be thinking about. And everybody can give me another will check.
Total of 19 this time for me. I rolled a 9 plus 10.
Okay.
I rolled a 14 plus 5, so also 19.
Okay.
Total of 28 for me.
Nice.
Callie was feeling great, then I rolled a 1, so I have a 13 total.
All right. Callie, you have a moment where the mirrors remind you of just the broken glass falling from the windows in that hotel ballroom at your 16th birthday, where Dr. Sin arrived to kidnap you, in order to essentially brainwash you into being his heir apparent. You remember that strange moment where it was just falling glass all around you, and time seemed to just stand still, and the whole world that you thought you lived in suddenly just became something else.
All sense of silliness fades from Raven's face as she goes into that dark place.
And you're continuing onward, and much like the maze itself, you're wondering how long this corridor can be, how far how much farther is this? How long have you been walking? Where even are you? You glance back for just a moment, and the mirrors seem to go back as far as the eye can see, out until they disappear into the shadows. Has it been that far? And you can give me another will check.
This time I got a 24 as Callie grits her teeth and tries to get over herself.
All right.
That's okay because I got your one.
Sorry, it's like a yawn. It's contagious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually rolled a 1 as well for a total of 11.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine's 11 too.
I have a total of 17.
Okay. That's a bit of a squeaker that pulls it out. Josh, Raven is having particular difficulty processing the input from this experience because it seems to be sort of randomizing your recollections.
Okay.
You find yourself sort of randomly accessing particular memory files and almost re-experiencing certain things. It's very disorienting. You haven't encountered anything quite like this in that regard.
So do these feel like not something that's actually in my memory banks? Something that's
No,
being
there are
inserted?
definitely things that you recall having experienced, but there
Okay.
seems to be at one you're normally capable of very exacting recall of just the things that you want to think about. You don't really, as humans describe it, daydream or the like. Your thoughts don't wander, and you
Okay.
wonder if this is in fact what that's like, and if so, how do humans deal with it? Because it's terrible. You feel very unfocused and out of control, and having difficulty focusing, and are randomly remembering things that make you feel different ways.
I don't like these thoughts going through my head.
Is he close enough to me that I could put like a reassuring hand on his metallic back?
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be okay, big guy. Just close your eyes and we'll get through this. Just a few more minutes, I hope.
I want this to end.
Me too.
And I hate to ask, but does Raven 3 suffer any further effects from a second miss save?
You're holding it together, but you're starting to have really strong flashbacks to your earlier life, the things that you have gone through a lot of therapy and processing in order to deal with. Your memories of your time with the Murder League are spotty at best because of the way you broke your conditioning. And you've always felt that ultimately was a bit of a mercy, that it was probably for the best that you didn't remember everything. And the notion of things starting to sort of bubble up and surface in your mind is frankly kind of terrifying, because you have no idea what terrible thing you might remember.
I take the sword, which I've no doubt sheathed at some point, and unsheath it and hold it in the ready, and mention a low monotone to Elite that if you're seeking to try to recondition me, know that I'm willing to do many things to avoid going back to that life. Death might be one of them, and it might be your choice as to which one.
Don't be a fool, she growls in a low voice, as if the League would ever take you back.
We shall see. I keep the sword at the ready.
How is it affecting Raven Noir?
You still have that just gut sense that there's something wrong. Like, you've walked into a lot of bad situations, and you've always relied on your gut to tell you when they're happening. And this is a bad situation. All of your instincts are telling you that you should run, but forward is supposed to be the way to go. So you are toughing it out at the moment.
Well, I pull up my gun and start kind of twitching and pointing it at things I see in the mirrors.
Don't let that thing go off. It's 7 years bad luck if you break a mirror.
Right now, I've got more important things to worry about than luck. Mine's pretty terrible already.
I don't compute luck, and I smash a mirror.
Oh no!
Oh.
All right.
Now what happens?
Raven takes a swing at one of the mirrors, and instead of breaking, his fist sinks into it as though the surface of the mirror were liquid, and he sort of stumbles forward from the overreach because he expected to connect with something solid, and the liquid surface of the mirror begins to run down his arm in rivulets, and you can feel, Raven, that something inside the mirror is pulling you in.
I try to pull back.
All right, give me a strength check.
Okay. Oops.
Can I assist? Can I wrap around him and fire a grapnel somewhere to try to pull out?
But you can certainly try and assist him. Let me know where you fire that grapple.
13 plus 8, so 21.
Okay. Raven, you sort of regain your balance and plant your feet as best you can and start pulling. And whatever has you is strong. You're unable to pull away from it. You marginally draw your arm back maybe a quarter of an inch, and then it's sort of lunged forward again.
Steve, I would
So I
shoot
try to
it
brace my
up.
feet against the mirror, or the sides of the
Okay,
mirror.
hold on. One at a time.
Okay,
Alex?
I would shoot it up towards the ceiling, which might have mirrors on it, but Callie's not thinking, she's reacting.
All right.
So,
You fire the grapple up into the ceiling mirror. It basically similarly passes through it with a slight ripple, like going into the surface of a pond. And a moment later, the grapple falls out of the ceiling onto the floor.
oh, okay.
Before I get to Josh's next actions, anybody else doing anything?
I will attempt to assist by using the sword to try to cut at the bits of mirror that are climbing up his arms, just trying to kind of like shave them off.
All right. You try and sort of scrape the silvery material off of Raven's arm with the edge of the blade, but it seems to just sort of flow around it, and you get no real give with it to actually cut any of it away. Raven Noir?
I'm going to grab Raven sort of grapple him around the chest, basically, and try to pull him back, bracing my feet against a couple mirror frames.
Okay. You can give me either a strength or a will check.
I'll give you a will. Total of 15.
All right. You brace yourself and grab Raven and pull as hard as you can. But he's still not budging. He's held fast and is slowly being pulled further in. Elite turns. You fool! She draws her sword and approaches. Josh, what is Raven doing?
Well, initially I was thinking this was like Enter the Dragon, and I was hoping to gain focus by smashing the mirror. But since that didn't work, I'm going to open up my repulsor and try to fire through the mirror.
All right. You trigger your repulsor, and your system says it fired, but literally nothing happens.
Okay.
Someone in the multiverse is about to have a bad day. That's what
Yes.
Somewhere in a
So I'm
different
continuing.
dimension.
I'm just
Something
bracing.
very strange happens to the president.
Elite approaches, and it's pretty clear to all of you that she sights very carefully around exactly what joint of Raven's arm she can cut off.
Do it. I could replace it.
Now we don't need to do that. And can I try to willpower him out of the mirror?
So you tell Elitist, like, we don't have time.
We don't trade body parts.
I
And I want to
hold my
stare
sword
into the
out.
mirror and try to conjure a reality where he is being let go.
All right.
And I will hold my sword towards her and try to intimidate her into, we will make time. We won't lose another member of our party.
All right. Raven 3, give me an intimidate check. You can take 10 on it if you want.
All right. I roll a 19 for a total of 25.
Nice. And Elite hesitates for a moment, at least long enough for Callie to try. Alex, give me a will check, and you get a hero point.
Thank you. I got an 18 total on the will check to try and imagine a better world for poor Raven.
Would you like to try for a better check than that?
I will spend the hero point you just gave me to try for a better try than that. That would be a 29. I rolled a 7 on the dice, which becomes a 17 plus 12.
Nicely done. And focusing on your intent, you lend your efforts to Raven Noir, and you're able to haul Raven's arm out of the mirror. The moment that his fingertips clear the surface, there's a very slight ripple, and then it snaps back to be a solid silvery surface again.
Steve, can we say I see a reality where there's a little girl, Callie, with a big sort of Baymax-style robot that she's looking at in the mirror, that she gets to pull his hand away from it before he smashes it?
Yes.
Thank you, alternative raisins.
Is there a giant repulsor blast in the wall behind Baymax Kaylee?
Could be.
I will resheath the sword and not say to Elite, can we continue?
Elite, in fact, steps back and does the same, sheathing her blade. Come, we're almost out.
Yeah, you guys definitely went to the same ninja school. I'll look at Raven and Elite.
And indeed, not long thereafter, you clear the corridor of mirrors. Everybody gets a hero point. And Elite leads you only a short distance further before stopping at a doorway. This will take us to a location close to Dr. Sin's citadel. From there, we'll have to make our entry. The maze cannot access the citadel because of the wardings that the rogue faction have put into place. They know that we would try to approach that way.
So what can we expect to see once we're in there?
A mountain fortress, nigh impenetrable, and a chamber wherein the work of reweaving reality may already be at work.
Just to double check, Steve, is this a Dr. Sin facility or a Murder League facility that Dr. Sin is occupying?
Do you ask Elite?
I will ask Elite.
The citadel belonged to one of Dr. Sin's alternates. He fell in battle with his enemies, and it was abandoned. The rogue faction thought it appropriate. Come. Elite opens the door, and it leads out into a cave of some sort. Not initially all that different from the endless dim hall, the murder maze, but this is rough and natural stone. Once you have all stepped out into it, the doorway behind you in a veil of pale silvery light disappears. The cave slopes upward slightly and eventually comes out to a wide ledge on a mountainside that overlooks a deep mountainous valley filled with mists. Ahead of you, you can see a plateau on top of which has been built a sprawling palace, basically a fortress in the style of the ancient Chinese dynasties. It has tall stone walls with crenellated battlements, and within are several towers and structures with tall peaked roofs with dark shingles, that ceramic shingles that cover them. The sky outside is dark, stormy, and an occasional ominous flash of lightning flickers in the distance, followed by a low roll of thunder through the valley. It's hard to say whether it's day or night, but it's dark. There are lanterns and lights that flicker from the battlements of the fortress, and they are pretty much the only light.
I glance over at Callie and say, well, your grandfather always did tend towards the theatrical.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you guys say? You want to go in there, kick his ass, and save the universe?
Sounds like a
Be
plan.
that easy, but yep.
Affirmative.
I look over to Elite and say, do you have a plan, or shall we just go?
I think that our best approach will be to rappel. We can climb up the side wall there, keeping an eye on the guard rotations. It should be easy enough to approach and possibly slip past them. If not, well, we'll have to deal with them.
I certainly wasn't planning on a frontal assault.
No, we're ravens. We're not really we're not really front door kind of folks. If the castle has a skylight, that would be perfect.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Troy suggests that it might be an opportune time for us to take a break. So why don't we go to commercial while the Ravens are planning their approach? Say 10-minute bio break.
Okay.
And then we'll come back for our assault on the Citadel of Dr. Sin.
Sounds
All
good
right.
to me.
Sounds good.
See you in 10.
Yeah.
Troy, I love all the ninjas you put on the backdrop.
I did that just for you. Did you see the snacks?
The real poetry was the snacks and the phone. You know?
Yes, right. Good eye, good eye.
All right. And we're back. So, ravens from across the omniverse gathered here at the outskirts of the sinister citadel of Dr. Sin. How are you to approach? Oh, yeah, we seem to have lost Vito.
Taken by the storms of the multiverse.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have counted my ravens before they hatched. I hope he's able to get back online.
Yeah.
So I will turn to the others and say, I assume that all of you have a method of scaling the side of the cliff.
Yes.
Never done it with the cliff before, but I've scaled enough skyscrapers.
Oh, you've got to go out on a wilderness caper. Those are the good ones.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a green man in your universe? Because I fought the green man once and it was not pleasant, but it was a nice scenic view.
The green man?
Yeah, he's like a tree guy. He's scary.
Nope. Keep my eyes out for him.
You know what? Where you're from, he's probably just the gray man because everything's a black and white.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a gray man. Big guy. Kind of rough skinned.
And looks like Josh may still be muted.
Yeah.
Well, Elliot, for his part, will look to Elite and say, do you want to lead the way, or shall we?
By all means.
All right. Do you need any checks from us to scale up using our various swing lines and things?
Nope, pretty straightforward.
Stealth check to avoid getting spotted?
Yep. That I do need.
Hey, gang, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep, just fine.
Yes.
Josh.
Can I ride on Raven, the android's back, and try to extend my wings over him to try to help him hide?
Sure.
I rolled
don't
a
think I'm
7 for a
selling on
total of
that
17 in my stealth.
What have you got total, Sean?
17.
Okay.
Well, I rolled a 3 for a total of 13.
Okay.
I rolled a 16 for a total of 24.
All right.
And I have no stealth skill, so I rolled a 9. Without the skill is what? -5? -2?
It's dexterity.
Okay.
Or, I'm sorry, agility for stealth.
Which is 2 for you.
Yeah,
So 11.
11.
All right. But I will give you a circumstance bonus from help from Kali's concealing cloak. So that gives you at least as good a stealth check as Raven Noir. So you scale the high stone wall on the outskirts of the citadel and quickly and quietly make your way to the top of the wall. There's a wide battlement behind that overlooks the wall and looks down into a sort of courtyard in the midst of things. It looks like a significant part of the what could be called the inner courtyard of the citadel is pretty active. Callie wished for a skylight. There kind of is one in the sense that the inner part of the fortress is a sort of a ring of tall structures around a central courtyard that is open to the air. There's a kind of walkway or the like around the inner part, and a lot of glowing and shimmering flickers of light are coming from within that area.
Well, guys, I say we sneak over there, see what's making that light, and if it's a problem, we get down there and we stop it.
Sounds like a plan.
That's probably Dr. Sin. There's all colors of peril there.
All right.
And maybe I missed it in the description. Do we see people like opposition currently out there?
Difficult to say from this angle. There might be some folks further down within the courtyard area, but it's difficult to see from here.
All right, trying to sneak our way closer makes sense to me.
You move quickly and quietly along that direction and get yourself a better sort of vantage point. And you can look down into what is basically sort of a two-story courtyard in the midst. The tops of the buildings have sort of sloped roofs with red ceramic shingles across them. But the fronts of the buildings are basically balconies that overlook. So there's a second level balcony, about a floor down, that overlooks the open area. That's significant, particularly because the open area is filled with what looks like a strange, complex, almost web of strands and the like that run from the edges of the structure into or to support what looks like a large sort of amber-colored egg that's probably a good 2 meters in length in its midst. There's a stiff wind that tugs at your cloaks, but it's actually blowing towards the opening as though the air were rushing down into it. And you see down in the depths occasional flickers of multicolored light that come from somewhere very deep indeed. In fact, it looks like whatever is underneath that webbing isn't a one-story drop to the courtyard, but a very deep, dark hole that extends for who knows how far. As you watch, one of those flickers of light seems to stab out almost like a bolt of lightning that strikes the amber egg, and the light plays over its surface for a moment before it seems to be absorbed into it.
Well, looks like your standard cosmic space wazoo that's sucking everything in. I remember some discussion about how 90% of realities have some degree of void in them. So I have a sneaking suspicion that's what everything's rushing into, the sheer emptiness.
Yes, there's a vast gap in the fabric of the omniverse.
I look over to Elite and say, do you know whether it goes away if we get rid of him?
It should. It will most likely heal itself if it's no longer maintained. But if it's possible that irreversible damage may be done.
No, don't like the sound of that. What do you suggest, expert?
I'm not sure what Sin is using to maintain this void. That although the rogue faction has supported him, he provided the means for this somehow. It must be down there. We need to find it and stop it.
There are times when I really miss having a teammate that can see magic. Sometimes this is very inconvenient.
Would
Does it
breaking
look
that
like
egg
we see...
put an end to it? Would breaking that egg put an end to it?
That appears to be the focus of the energies that are being drawn in. I suspect the vessel of whatever Dr. Sin is working on. I don't think that it will necessarily close the void, but it's worth considering.
Do you want some of us to make a distraction while you go figure out what to do about this?
I would welcome a distraction.
Well, look at the gang.
If we look at the threads of the web, does it seem like they're leading anywhere?
They seem to be connected primarily around the structure of the buildings, and it looks like they're primarily there to support that egg.
Well, for the lack of anybody else volunteering for it, I'm going to have Elite 3 put down his grapple gun and try to swing down, and he's going to drop an explosive Ravenrang around the area of the egg and then continue swinging out of it using his move by action.
Sounds good. Give me an acrobatics check, if you would.
Sure. I rolled an 8 plus 11 will be a total of 19.
Okay. You are able to swing down into the area pretty easily. It's a little more challenging than you expected because as you swing closer, the pull becomes stronger, and you have to pull up a bit harder on the bottom of your swing as you drop the Ravenrang. But you manage it, and you don't, however, make it all the way back up. You're pretty much going to have to land yourself along the second floor landing if you're going to make a landing at all.
Okay, second floor landing makes sense. Is there anywhere it looks like I might be able to try to duck into cover?
Well, no, because as you swing down and up, you also see that the lower walkway around the area where the web is full of people. There are a bunch of either Murder League or Dr. Sin's ninjas, possibly both of them. And along with an area on the next arc over from where you come in for a landing, there's Dr. Sin himself and a big guy who's probably like 6'5", and massively broad-shouldered, wearing a skull mask, whom you recognize as the Murder League member known as Woundmaker.
Out of character. Good news, guys. I got their attention.
Also, Raven 3, immediately of note to you is that there is sort of a recessed alcove in the wall behind where Woundmaker and Dr. Sin stand. And splayed out in that alcove is Navigatrix. She appears to be bound with some kind of complex mechanical system of clamps, and they're all connected to several banks of equipment that are nearby. Energy crackles and flows over her form and through a series of cables that are connected to her that run out to the various strands of the web as another colored bolt of lightning surges up from the void into the golden egg. Callie, you can see shadows inside the egg that look like the silhouette of a person.
And recognizing that I don't have a communications rig on my equipment sheet, and these people may be coming from an alternate verse, is it okay if I use my hero point to alter the scene to try to broadcast over what I think are likely Raven frequencies as to what exactly I'm able to see to them?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Oh, okay. I will.
You have the foresight of setting up a
apprised.
communications link.
We should have talked about that.
Alternate realities. I figure there's a decent chance we're using about the same frequency range.
Alrighty. Sounds like an opportune time for folks to roll for initiative.
Steve, can I roll an insight check on the people in the egg, or the silhouette in the egg, too?
Yes, you can.
I roll initiative first.
I have a 22.
Well, my run of luck continues. I have a 9 total.
Hold on. All right. So, Sean, what's your initiative?
7 plus 9 for a total of 16.
Okay. Alex?
It's a 10 plus 4 for a total of 14.
And Michael?
9, 4 plus 5.
And Josh?
20 plus 2.
22. Nice.
Nice.
Okay. All right. So, Woundmaker has a long metallic tech-like staff that he draws from across his back, and as soon as Raven 3 has dropped into sight, Woundmaker leaps from an edge of the balcony and catching himself on an edge of the roof, executes a pretty near perfect flip to drop down near where Raven is and fire a blast of energy from his staff at him. Josh, since you and Woundmaker have the same initiative, if you want to interpose, you can.
Yes, that's exactly what I was planning on doing. I want to take
Okay.
that. Since I seem to be pretty tough, I want to take the blast and save Raven 3.
Okay. And as I recall, you are immune to fortitude effects.
Yep.
So,
And
Sean,
pretty
you
decent armor.
see Woundmaker come at you. He doesn't get close enough to take a swing at you, but instead drops the point of his staff towards you and fires a burst of electrical energy from it. And suddenly, like that, the android Raven is between the two of you, and the energy blast hits him and just sort of corsicates over his body for a moment, and then just peters out harmlessly. You estimate that probably would have shocked the nervous system of the average, humanoid. Fortunately, yours is shielded.
Grounded individual.
And it is Raven 3's action.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and leapfrog over the Raven android, and I'm going to see if I can try to knock the staff out of Woundmaker's hands.
Okay,
Since that
disarm.
worked for me all right last time.
All right.
I'm going to
Go for
take
your
a
attack check.
-2 for my attack roll to get a +2 at the effect using power.
Okay.
I say this before actually making my roll, and that'll be a total of 22.
Just enough. So give me a damage check.
All right. For the disarm, unfortunately, I rolled a 5, which I think, based upon what you said, with the 6th and strength of 2 will give me a total of 13. Oh, +2 for the power attack for 15.
15. Yep. Unfortunately, not quite enough. And Woundmaker retains his grip on the staff. Well, his deep voice echoes from within the helmet. If it isn't the traitor.
When I last saw you, I was much more a child. Now, we face each other on more equal footing.
Come then, let us see what you have learned. All right, Kali, you were going to give me an insight check if I remember correctly.
I was. I got a 14 on the dice for a 24 total to basically trying to ascertain if there's like a god coming out of that egg to kill us, or if it's somebody who needs help.
You don't think, you don't get a sense that there's any immediate threat from the figure in the egg. They appear to be pretty motionless at the moment. So you don't think so.
In that case, I would like to swoop down and kick my grandpa in the face.
Okay.
And I'll use 5 points of power attack.
All right. Give me an attack check.
Oh, that's a crit with my martial arts.
Nice.
So, good news. That'll be, with the 5 points of power attack and the 5 points for the crit, will be a DC 30 toughness save.
Okay. All right. You can take a hero point, and you swing in, kind of coming over the edge of the roof enough to surprise Dr. Sin and catch him off guard. The force of your kick sends him staggering back into a table laden with equipment before he rights himself. He was surprised by that. His dark eyes widen slightly at your appearance and then narrow, and he's like, "No, you're not mine. Some things are disappointingly predictable."
Yeah, and most people's evil grandpas just make problematic posts on Facebook. Nobody's happy here.
"Still your disobedient tongue, child. You should speak better to your elders."
Yeah, I'm gonna hit you so hard my grandpa feels it.
All right, Raven Noir.
All right. Well, while she's providing a distraction, I'm gonna swing down and try and sneak into the back of that balconied area, because there's nothing like a damsel in distress.
Indeed.
What I can't resist, even if she's
all right. Give me a stealth check.
I thought you bet
Natural
me, and I
one.
was like,
you know what? I'm gonna hero point that. Ooh, the natural 20.
Nicely done.
So that's what's my stealth? That's a 30.
All right. Raven Noir melts into the shadows and slips down to the lower level, stealing close to where Navigatrix is bound. And that's pretty much your movement. What else would you like to do when you get there?
I'm going to try to free her from this contraption she's in.
All right. Well, she's definitely clamped down with these heavy metal clamps that cover her hands and feet. And there's a fifth one across her waist. They look pretty much, if not welded into the wall, pretty close to it. You'd need
anything like a lock or a key?
Maybe. I mean, they're pretty fancy gadgets. You've never seen anything quite like this. They're definitely not conventional. There's no conventional keyhole or anything like that. You need a sledgehammer to break something like this. You're not sure.
I don't have a sledgehammer, but I do have a gun.
You do.
So I'm going to start shooting the joins around her wrist so she can help me out.
Okay. You take a couple of close shots at a couple of the manacles, and you're definitely doing some damage. However, you have also most definitely given yourself away. Dr. Sin glances away momentarily from Callie at the sound of the gunshots and calls to some of the nearby warriors, "Stop him!" And ninjas attack.
Of course they do.
Like they do. A group of 4 ninjas try and swarm Raven Noir. Only one of them does well enough to connect, so I need a 1 toughness check.
All right. 19.
No damage, however. He barely scratches your trench coat with that swipe as you step out of the way. Some of the other ninjas attack the android Raven. And 2 of those will connect, so I will need toughness checks for 2.
Okay.
But your toughness is pretty considerable. So
First roll was 7, so
19. Yeah, no
Yeah.
damage.
and the second is 1.
Oh, well, all right. Somebody got lucky.
Yes.
So that's a 13. So you actually take a hit, which is -1 on your toughness checks, and you are dazed.
Okay.
Somebody struck a vulnerable point, and there's a shock of electricity as one of your systems glitches for a moment. It seems that the ninjas are very carefully staying out of Woundmaker's fight, and none of them attack Raven 3. So it is, in fact, the android Raven's action. Because you were dazed, you're limited to either a move or a standard action, not both.
Okay. At this point, since I'm being swarmed upon, I'll go. I'll just yell out "back" and then fire off my affliction again.
Okay. All right. The sonic wave that lashes out from Raven sends 3 of the ninjas, lays them out unconscious on the deck.
Cool.
One of them staggers back, his sword still at the ready, but is definitely rethinking his career choices. All right, Woundmaker takes a step in, twirling his war staff, and then takes a swing at Elliot. All right, that is 25 against your parry.
Yeah, that'll hit by 2.
Okay. I need a toughness check.
Okay. Which I'm at -1 right now due to my prior injury. Rolling a grand total then of 6 plus, I think, 6. So a total of 12.
Okay. You are staggered by the force of that blow. Warmaker hits you hard. You're pretty sure he broke something. Another failed toughness check will take you out, and you are going to be dazed.
Mm-hmm. Or at least another staggered.
Yep. All right. And it's your action.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and do a recovery action to
Okay.
recover my worst damage, which is the staggered.
Yep.
So just
absolutely.
to be bruised 2, and I think that gives me a +2 on defense this turn.
Mm-hmm. It does.
Okay.
All right.
So yeah, he ducks and weaves as he tries to shake off the injury.
Thus far, I'm not impressed, student.
Just you wait. Just give me a second to catch my breath. Anybody can take a cheap shot like that.
Dr. Sin steps back and presses a switch on the bank of equipment that he's standing by as several of his warriors rush into the space between him and Callie to protect their master. And a surge of energy runs along the cables and equipment holding Navigatrix leaping like lightning to ground through Raven Noir. I need a fortitude check, please.
All right. That's a 20.
Okay. You managed to grit your teeth against the powerful electrical surge, and you are only dazed by it. So it will reduce you to a standard or a move action. You'll get another check to shake off the effects next turn.
All right.
Which, again, conveniently, is... Oh, no. First, it's Callie's turn.
So, Grandpa, does your life alert have a button on that chair too? And I'll flip over and try to kick him again. I'll avoid the ninjas he summoned to fight me.
All right, give me an acrobatics check.
That's a... You know what? I got a 12, but I'm going to spend a hero point to reroll it.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good... it's a 9 on the dice, which becomes a 19, plus 8 is a 27.
Yeah, you leap over them easily to drop into place right by Dr. Sin and make your attack check.
Pow. And I'll do 3 points of power attack this time.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a natural 1 to hit, so that won't hit no matter what.
That's a miss. And in fact, he dodges easily as your kick is powerful and cracks off the edge of the table with its force, but he steps out of the way.
Can I use extra effort to try to put myself between him and the chair with the buttons on it?
Bank of equipment on a table, really, rather than a chair.
Okay.
But
okay.
Kind of difficult as you're both standing next to it at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. I'll save that hero point for extra effort then to maybe instant counter in the future.
All right, fair enough. And Raven Noir, your one action.
All right. I as a free action, can I talk to Navigatrix?
Yep, absolutely.
I turn to her. Hold on tight, man. Got a bad man to deal with. Then take my gun, reload it, and just shoot Dr. Sin.
Okay.
Do this.
Give me an attack check.
All right. That's an 11. No, sorry,
Okay.
that's a 16.
Dr. Sin slides rather gracefully for a man of his advanced years. And Raven, you draw a bead on him and take your shot as he turns and twists at the last minute. Give me another attack check.
Okay.
Oh no.
That's also a 16.
Fortunately, Callie is fast enough that when Dr. Sin dodges just in front of you and twists in such a way that you're able to follow his move, and neither one of you get hit.
You just tried to killing joke your own granddaughter.
I did. Yeah.
My loyalty to family knows no limits when it is repaid.
Yeah, you and the student loans I've got.
All right. And the ninjas go. All right. One of the ninjas backing up Dr. Sin is going to hit Callie with an attack, so I need a toughness check there. One ninja fighting Raven the android doesn't even scratch him.
Okay.
And the ninjas coming after Raven Noir. That's one hit there as well. Alex, what have I got for toughness?
13 from me.
Okay, that is going to be a daze.
And 27 for me.
No damage. All right. Woundmaker comes in and makes another swing at Raven and misses. And Raven the Android, your action.
Since I'm damaged at the moment, I'll move to Raven 3 to assist with Woundmaker, but on my next turn.
Okay. And Raven 3, your action.
All right. I'm going to hurl the sword off to one side of him as if I were missing. And then I'm going to seemingly follow it with a cartwheel that direction, but reversing direction. Attempting to use my agile to reduce his defenses.
Mm-hmm.
So let me roll an acrobatics roll. I'm doing it as a move action with the -5, if you're okay with that.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. 8 plus 6 is 14 versus his acrobatics or insight, I think.
Okay.
Not my best of rolls.
You have a hero point left?
I do, but I think I'm going to hold on to that for the actual attack.
Fair enough. All right. His roll is definitely better than that.
Oh, okay.
So
he's just going to...
he is not fooled by that maneuver.
All right. He's just going to wade in with his quickly drawn batons and so attempting an attack. He's actually going to go ahead and go all out with taking the -2 on his defenses.
Okay.
Oh, cool. And I actually critted on that one.
Nice.
So that's... And the total roll was like 34, but...
Yeah, that's a hit.
Is that enough for 3 degrees of success with his multi-attack on the batons?
32. Yes, it is.
Oh, so I think that gives me another +5.
Plus
bring it
5.
up to DC, DC 30 total.
Whew. All right. Nicely done. So you slip in with an aggressive attack, and Woundmaker, although he was not fooled by your feint, his overconfidence does seem to get a bit of the better of him, as he is not expecting quite so fierce a full-on attack. And you bring your paired batons up under the chin strap of his helmet with a force that snaps his head back, and he bowls over and hits the ground with a thud. There wasn't even a time for a witty appreciation of your skill on that one. He's out.
I will turn to Raven and say thank you for the assist, but I think I got that one.
I was just offering backup.
Much appreciated.
Dr. Sin holds one long, sort of bony hand out towards the area of the void, and a thin tendril of sort of dark violet lightning springs to his hand. And he hurls it at Kali. That is, was a 22 hit your dodge?
Just on the nose.
Okay. Then I need a fortitude check.
Okay. I got a 12 plus 8 is a 20.
Okay. You are only dazed by the effect of that impact, which is convenient because it's your action.
And I was already dazed. I would like to look at the panel on the table next to me.
Yep.
I would like to spend a hero point to power stunt my taser rings, and I just want to stick an electrified Raven ring into that and try to shut the buttons off.
Okay. I'd say so. We'll make it based on how accurate your attack roll is.
Okay. That would be a 27.
Nice. Well
A
done.
12 on the dice.
You,
13 on the dice.
You sort of feint as though to throw one of your raven rings at Dr. Sin, but it loops past him, and one of the pointed ends sticks into the control panel. There's a crackle of electricity as Dr. Sin turns to the side to see it. No! And the clamps holding Navigatrix go and all pop open.
See, Grandpa, you shouldn't have load-bearing villain stuff.
And Dr. Sin oh no, that's sorry. Yeah, he's just like kind of stunned, and it's Raven Noir's turn. So
that's the perfect distraction then.
That problem's fixed.
Yeah. I just look at all this electronic stuff and say, huh. Then turn to stun Dr. Sin and just run up and punch him in the jaw.
All right. Give me an attack roll.
And I'll use all-out attack on that.
Okay. Are you going to use all-out or power attack? I would suggest power attack in this case.
Okay. I can use power attack.
And how many ranks of it are you using?
I will use...
if you have the advantage, you can go up to 5.
Correct. Otherwise, it's 2.
I do. I'll use all 5.
Okay.
So that turns into a 15 to hit.
All right. And what's your damage?
It's with power attack. It's a plus 10. So
Okay.
DC 25.
Raven Noir strides in as Dr. Sin is staring in sort of horror at the ruins of the device, and he turns just in time to take a right hook to the jaw that lays him out. The strange webbing and the amber-colored egg in the midst of the courtyard area seem to almost fold in on themselves. The pulling from within the void seems to increase. And although it doesn't affect any of you where you're standing, everything within the area of the courtyard simply begins to sort of collapse. It all pulls away, the webs like strands of taffy being pulled out their limits and finally just sort of snapping off of the edges of the balcony. And the whole mass of it fluttering like a dropped veil down into the dark and into the flickering light. And you hear a faint voice as the lights begin to fade that just says, "Thank you." And those of you who know her recognize it's Jasmine Sin, Callie's mother, and Cal's mother as well, in fact. With the Navigatrix's freedom and the technology disabled, the rift very quickly begins to heal and close.
Did we ever see where Elite went during all this?
In fact, Elite reappears not long thereafter, and she sheaths her blade and says, "The remaining rogue faction will be no concern. I'd say that this is where we part our ways." Shall I finish them? She points to Dr. Sin and Woundmaker.
No.
No. They deserve to live with their actions.
If you wish, they're your kills to do with as you want. Take them. They're nothing to me.
I don't even know that these are our Dr. Sin or Woundmakers to take, but...
Well, that, she nods towards Dr. Sin, that one is from your reality, she says to Raven 3. Woundmaker, well, he is a traitor to the League. We all know how they fare. Give him his life if you want, but someone will find him and kill him eventually. Just as we will you.
I accept that fate, and I accept that that is his fate. Boy, does that
Very
make
well
me
done.
feel like a technical pacifist, but...
Our business is concluded. Hopefully for you, we won't meet again.
Yeah, I knew she was a supervillain, man.
Yeah. So you're not gonna, I take it you're not gonna help us through that freaky mirror?
Navigatrix speaks up. Freed from my constraints, I can easily return you to your own timelines.
Okay.
There's no need for you to traverse the maze again. Thank
There's
you,
a part of me
Elliot.
that
I was
really wants
afraid
to try
that you
to-
had not heard my call for help.
No, you're a hard person to forget.
My pleasure, ma'am.
Come then, let's go from this place, and I will take you home.
Some part of me really wants to try to slip the card for the maze off of Elite, but I also have a +6 in sleight of hand, so I know my role.
That's my sleight. Yeah.
Let's just say that further investigation of the murder maze will have to wait for another time.
Mm-hmm.
And Navigatrix returns all of our various Parliament of Ravens to their proper time and place.
So
And
before we leave, I'll turn to where the giant pit and egg were, and I'll say, "There's a lesson for you. Don't count your sins before they're hatched."
Nice.
Well done. And
when he drops her off, or when she drops him off, Elite is going to give Navigatrix a hug.
yes,
Somewhat hesitantly at first, but she saved him from great danger, and he's glad to get a chance to return the favor.
yes, and she gives him a very motherly embrace in return. And I think that we can safely say that Dr. Sin's plans for his legacy will trouble you nevermore.
Love it. Love it.
Well done, Ravens.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
You should make this an annual team up.
Problem is scheduling around the Bowman conventions.
And no doubt at some point I will have to do a Bowman Brigade crossover. And if I do it with enough notice, I'll even let folks create their variant Bowmans if they want.
Nice.
Very,
very
very
Bowman.
very nicely done, everyone. I want to tell the patrons I'll be sending you a very special thank you for joining us, and we'll give you an opportunity to pick some stuff up from the Green Ronin online store for Mutants and Masterminds for free. And in addition, there's some folks in the audience, at least one whom I'm going to name the VIP. Squire Cortez. Squire, you were just always, so fun and always engaging. So we will send you the very same prize that we'll send our players today, and let you pick something out nice from the store as well. But really great job today. This is a super fun time. I'm bummed that we lost our friend. Yeah. Beto was, had just gone through a storm and was on their phone hotspot. And so I'm surprised they were able to stick it out as long as they could, but we'll be sure that they get their prize as well.
Awesome.
Oh, Squire, yeah. No, we'll be sure to send that over to you. Keep an eye on your inboxes. And great stuff, Steve. This is a lot of fun.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Steve.
Yes, thank you very much for running, Steve.
Okay, everyone, have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you over on the Patreon. You want to go to patreon.com/mutantsandmasterminds to join in all the fun. Bye, everyone.
Catch you